In this video, I'm gonna be rescuing this 1966 F100 from being sent to the scrapyard. She got some weird stuff going on with her, so stick around to find out what that is, see if we can get her to run and maybe even drive. Let's go.
What do you got on your nose, man? You got been in the cockaburs or something. Hey, what is that? It's too hot for you today. You can't go. You gotta go back inside. Do I need another truck? No. Right now I'm already having to do the truffle shuffle every time I want to work on something inside the shop. But I have a sickness and I just can't help myself. For a 60s model F100 with a V8 to just be right down the road from my house, how could I not buy it? You guys would buy it too, right? Somebody give me a comment if you have at least 5 projects sitting around your shop and your house. Well, this is the place. You got all kinds of cool stuff over here. Maybe this truck's free. Well guys, here she is. Looks to me like a 1962, not a 66. She's not quite show quality, but just with a little bit of elbow grease, I think she could get there. I think let's just go ahead and get her loaded up. My truck's blocking the road here. Let's get her to the house and see what we got going on inside. Well, as you can see, I got her loaded up. Now all I got to do is go pay the man.
Put your name on it there.
You said he took this in on trade?
Yeah.
Cutting a tree down or something?
Yeah, he took part of it on trade.
Yeah.
Part of the money they would have made that part of it going to fix it.
Was it a local truck here, or you know?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to working with it. It's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to be able to get it running. I was looking it up. I think it might be a 62, unless it's got a different grill on it. But just judging by the grill, it may be.
Has it got the twin I-beams under it?
I didn't look close enough.
Come out with them to 65.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Twin I-beams.
I could be wrong. I was just going off of that grill.
Yeah.
But I'll decode that VIN and figure it out. But according to the VIN, it's a 62 grill, I think. So, well, I guess I'll get her home, and I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good day. Well, the Eagle has almost landed. Now I just got to figure out how to get it off the trailer. I'm going to try to just give it the old thunder and lightning, but if that doesn't work, I may have to winch it off with the Ranger. That was easier than expected. See, this is a Ford. It is self-unloading. I didn't know it had that feature. So overall, a pretty straight truck. But let's just address the elephant in the room here. This thing says free, spray painted on the back of it. Now that is never a good sign, especially when I had to pay money for this thing. But what in the world would cause someone to spray paint the word free on the tailgate of a pickup? But as far as the body panels, you couldn't ask for a straighter truck. Now inside the bed, we got a few things. Somebody been doing some landscaping over here. We got a empty welder's helmet box. We've got some antifreeze and some kind of big old filter over there. Up here in the front of the bed, you can see here we've got a little bit of weight reduction up here against the cab. Looks like we've got an NRA sticker and a Texarkana, Texas, something, I can't see what it says. Looks like this thing was last tagged in 2019. So, been off the road for 5 years or so. Kind of got some cool looking wheels on her. Now inside the cab is very blue. I'm talking very blue. What is this carpet here? Like this, like something that goes in the bottom of a john boat or something, it seems like. We got some unique wiring in the ignition switch. Notice that there is no gear shifter right here. There's also a giant hole in the floor where like a floor shifter is supposed to go. So I'm not really sure about this transmission. We had a custom paint job here on the dash that's seen better days. The window actually rolls up and down, so that's nice. Still got the old gas tank behind the seat here, just like the old days. Check out the speakers here. We got the Pioneers right there blasting right in the old eardrums. But now for the moment that we've all been waiting for. What's under the hood of this old thing? It's definitely a 8-cylinder motor. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 292 Y block. Now I don't know what is the difference between a V8 and a Y block. We got decent battery cables, solenoid, easy access here. We got nice little kitchen bowl over the carburetor, which is a good sign. Feel like if the engine was no good, they wouldn't have taken the time to do that. Distributor cap is loose. We do have points and rotor in there. Coil looks to be decent shape. Let's see if we can turn it. Might take both hands. Radiator doesn't seem to be leaking. Man, to be honest, this truck might run, but I guess there's only one way to find out. So as you guys know, if you've watched this channel for very long, I'm not super experienced on any of this, but especially not with Fords. But how hard could it really be, right? I think I'm gonna go throw a battery in this old girl and just see what happens when we turn the key. Let's just see what we got. We got a brand new battery here. So the ignition switch is just not working at all. The little screwdriver that was in there is just doing absolutely nothing. I'm not exactly sure how to tear in there and figure out what all these wires are. We got stuff like cobbled together. Like Derek Bierry would say, it's like, have I already worked on this truck? This looks like something I would do, but I'm not the one who did it, so I don't really know what they did. Another thing is, I don't think our starter relay is working because I got it all hooked up to the battery here and I've got my little push button starter going and absolutely nothing happens when I press the button. Every now and then I'm able to get it to like spark a little bit, but it has no like response. Like it's definitely not trying to start the engine. So I think I'm gonna go get a starter relay and see if I can figure out how to get that thing working before I move on. I guess before I do that, I could at least go ahead and check the oil and make sure all that looks good. Here. Ooh. So that doesn't really look good. That actually looks kind of milky. I'm hoping that that's just from a little bit of water seeping in through the dipstick. So let me clean her off and dip it in here and see what we get. What in the world? It looks like it's full of like water. It's just pretty milky. Is there even any oil in this thing? This engine may not be any good. I don't know, guys. It's just dripping like, looks like water down in there. I don't know that there's any oil in it. That is not good. I've never seen it so bad. I'm glad I checked this before I started trying to start this thing because it's literally just like water pouring out of there. So I may need to change the oil before I even try to mess with this.
Trying to drain the oil and nothing but water's coming out of the bottom of the oil pan. Why in the crap would that be happening? Maybe this is why it's spray painted free on the back. This is not a good sign. Jeez.
That was unbelievable. I cannot believe that there was that much water inside this motor. Like, that is really scary. I don't know really if we're gonna get this thing to run. It may just be so rusted inside these cylinders that there's no hope, but we're already here, so let's give her a whirl. I think my only hope is if no one ever tried to run this motor after it was filled with water. All right, so now it's time to change out our starter solenoid. Let's see if this does anything. Whoa, okay, we got a little heat there for sure. See if I can get her to bust off, or at least spin. Oh yeah, she's gonna spin. Well, that's good. At least we know the motor's not locked up. It did spin. Didn't do anything, but I think I'm gonna try to get the ignition switch wired up, and then we'll start worrying about fuel and fire. All right, so I got the ignition switch hooked up, set in there. Now I've just got to figure out how to put in the tumbler. Let's find out where the English instructions are. Before installing lock cylinder, depress the brass pin with a wire and rotate the key counterclockwise until the pin drops into the conical depression. So I've got to get this thing depressed. All right, little key, you're never gonna make it in life. You're a nobody. Your daddy was a nobody. Your kids are gonna be nobodies. You should just give up. All right, I think I got it depressed now. What to do next? So I got it installed now, but the problem is the whole thing twists. So, I mean, the key's working, but I can't figure out how to get the actual switch to stay in place. So I'm gonna do some research on that, but I think for the purposes of starting it, I can make it work for now. I'm just gonna pop open the distributor cap here, take a look at these points, and I've got the key on the inside. I'm not able to get it to spin over with the key, but I do have power when the key is on the on position. So I'm just gonna move these points around, and it does look like we have some faint sparks. So that tells me our coil is working, and I just probably need to gap and sand these points, and then I guess I'm just gonna use my big giant channel locks and shoot some gas down in here and go from there. It looks like my gap needs to come out just a hair. We got spark at the points. I've got the key on. Even though I wasn't able to get it to spin over with the key because of some wiring issue, the key is on, which is giving me fire here to my coil. So I got the battery hooked up. I did mix up some weed eater gas. I think I went a little bit heavy on the oil, but I said we probably needed it anyway. So let me give her a little drink of fuel, and let me grab my universal key, and we'll just see what happens. All right, guys, fire in the hole. I don't know if it's in gear or not, so if it starts, I may have to run out of the way. We'll see. All right. Ah, I didn't mean to do that yet. Jeez, that's scary. Well, it does not seem like we're getting any chemical reaction here. Really excited that the engine's not blown up, or not locked up or blown up, but we've got to be sure we're getting spark and timing right. So I think I'm gonna get my spark tester, make sure we got spark here in plug number 1. Still no spark. Okay, that's fine. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna confirm that the firing order is anywhere close to right, and see if that changes things at all. I'm not exactly sure what the firing order is on a Ford, so I'm gonna Google that up and trace these cables down and go from there. Okay, so firing order is right. Dang, I'm so glad that I Googled the firing order, because I knew that number 1 was over here, but I didn't realize it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I thought it was going to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, like on a Chevrolet. But anyway, got that figured out. So being that the firing order is right and there's no spark here in plug number 1. I think what I'm going to do is pop the distributor cap back off and just turn it over and see if the points are sparking, because if the points are sparking, then that's going to mean it's either our plug wires or our spark plugs themselves. No, we're not getting any spark there. I know I was seeing some earlier. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to touch it with this screwdriver again and see if it gives me a spark anywhere. No, I'm not getting anything. Anything now, where before I was. So I'm not getting any spark at my points. I got my little voltmeter here. I've got the key on, battery hooked up. I'm just going to ground this out. I'm going to touch the points here where the hot wire's coming in. So I got 10 volts coming into the flapper part of the points, but nothing on the other side. So I think I'm going to call it for the day, go in and pick this back up on Monday once I can get a new set of points and a condenser. And I bet you that that's going to give us some starting power. See you guys then. All right, what's up, dudes? We're back for day 2 on the 66 F100. So I did go to the parts store and I picked up a set of points and a condenser and some new spark plugs. So I'm going to start slinging some wrenches and see if we can make some fire in this baby. Let me just double check, make sure we don't have spark today. No, still no spark today. No secret mechanics came here last night and fixed this while I was asleep.
Hey, he's all fixed.
Yes, good as new, tuned to the finest.
So battery's disconnected. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this condenser out and see if we can get some fire right here. When I was crawling around underneath the truck yesterday, I realized this truck has true dual exhaust. And I think I might have told y'all wrong. I thought that this truck was a 292 Y block, but then I realized that the VIN that I was looking at was the one on the door, and it actually came back to a 1962 truck. And the more I mess with this thing, I'm more and more certain that this is in fact a 1966, judging off of the paperwork that's on the inside of the truck. I'm not able to locate an actual VIN number. I'm looking for that. So if anybody knows where to find the VIN on a 66 Ford, I could use your help on that, because it's not on the frame rail where I thought it would be. It's not in the glove compartment. The one on the door is from a different model truck. So I'm really confused. I think there may be one in the cab, under the cab on the frame, but I don't know where, and I think you have to either pull the cab or use like a mirror to be able to see it. And I just don't see that working out really good for me. So comment down below if you know any other areas where I might be able to find a VIN on a 1966 F100. You know, one thing I love about working on these old cars is so many of the skills that you learn on one truck apply to the next one and the next one and the next one. So if you guys watched any of my earlier videos, you guys know how much I'm learning here and how much faster I'm getting at all of this stuff. I'm gonna see if I can flick these points and see if I get any spark. I'm not seeing any spark at the moment. I'm gonna try to spin the engine and see if we see anything there. No spark. Well, what in the Sam Hill? So I'm getting power coming into the coil in this little red wire, but I'm not getting any power coming through the coil wire here to the distributor. So I think what I'm gonna do, I have this other coil off of a GM. I'm not sure if this is gonna cross or not, but they look very similar. So I may give this one a try. All right, well, after doing some testing, neither of these coils are good. Imagine that. I should have just bought one when I went and got the points and condenser, but I thought we did have spark for a little bit, but I think maybe it was the last spark this thing could ever make. So anyway, live and learn. Should have just bought one. They're only like $30 anyway. But next time I go to town and pick up a new coil pack, see if we can get spark to the points. Once that happens, I don't know why she wouldn't start. All right, good news. I was able to get off work in time to run by the parts store and pick up a new coil. This is the actual right one, and it is a good one. So I'm gonna slap this old girl in there and see if that'll give us any better fire. Okay, so new coil is installed. Now I'm gonna hook the battery back up. We're gonna test this thing again and see if we got any spark. Lord and Jesus, let there be spark. It's hot. Okay, moment of truth. Yeah, we got spark, we got spark. Oh my gosh, okay. Well now, let the games begin. Oh, if this thing starts, it's gonna be sweet. Okay, so we got plugs hooked up, batteries hooked up. I just shot a little fuel in the carb. What do you say we hook her up, y'all? Why was that so easy? Oh my gosh. Give her a little more here. All right, let's go again. This is fun. Maybe she just needs a little throttle. Oh my gosh, this truck wants to run. She was full of water yesterday. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. I think we got a little timing issue here, but I think this truck's gonna start, y'all. All right, I jacked with that a little bit. I wasn't really able to get that distributor to move very much, so I don't know exactly what's going on there. She's gonna run. I mean, you really can't complain too much about that, guys. Gee, Monet, what are we gonna do? Look at it blowing stuff out of the exhaust. I think I need to figure out how to fill that bowl. I think once I get that bowl filled, we'll be in a lot better shape. Let me go get a little hose. Okay. All right, I got this rigged up now. I got a little hose there to fill the bowl. I'm gonna make a guess. This is gonna be the time she sits here and idles. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. This never gets old, guys. This old girl wants to run. This truck might make a Ford man out of me after all. I don't know. That's broken. I was able to get the vice grips attached to the bottom of the distributor now so that I can actually adjust the timing a little bit. I was having a hard time getting her to spin. So I did twist the timing back a little bit because it was backfiring out of the carb. So I'm gonna give her a little hit here and see if we can make something happen. That was better, that was better. I wonder if this float's not stuck because when I pour it in, it's kind of starting to overflow out of the top a little bit. That time it didn't. Maybe we're better off now. All right, let me try that again. Come on now. All right, let's bump this timing just a little. See if that helps anything at all. Easier said than done. Golly, that sucker's on there. Ugh. Come on now. Ooh, okay, it didn't like that. We'll pack it back the other way, see if that's any better. That distributor is in there now. Straight to the bowl. What happened to our key here? Did I throw a fuse or something? I guess let me check on that, dang it. Okay, so I think I found the issue now. It seems as though we have totally lost power to the truck. I ran a few ohm meter tests on the coil and in different places, and it's not showing any power at all. So I'm thinking the problem is going to be in one of these cables. They're real old and crusty. So I guess I'm going to try to change out either the ground or the power cable and see if either of those are the problem. Maybe we'll get power restored back to the truck. So I cut the end of the ground off and put a little better end on there, and let's see if that gives us a little bit better connection. Maybe she'll start. Give her full throttle. Let's see if we got any connection here. Oh yeah. Come on. Okay, she's shooting out the carb again. Let me see what happens if we go back this way. I may be going the wrong way. I'm still not real well versed on which is the right way to go. I don't know. She didn't backfire, but she also didn't really want to run. I'm going to bump her this way just a little bit more, same direction. Okay, that was the wrong way. So I think I'll go back the other way. How do you know when you set the timing the wrong way, the truck catches on fire? Okay, we'll go the other direction then. Come on now, you got to start there. All right, all right. All right, maybe we're getting closer. I think before I keep cranking on her, I think I'll go ahead and change out the spark plugs. Just be sure we're giving her the best chance we can before we move on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. Now, I heard a guy say the other day, to know how much to gap your spark plugs, it's 1/1000th for every 100 cc's, I guess, of displacement. So like this, if this is a 352, these plugs would need to be gapped to 35,000th. I don't know if that's right or not. That's what I'm going to try to do. That makes sense. I think that's a decent rule of thumb. You guys let me know in the comments if that's right at all. The plugs actually don't look too bad. I don't know if you can see that. For the truck being filled with water, I expected them to be pretty rusty, and they're really not. Let's see what it's gapped to from the factory. It's actually gapped just right, about 35 thousandths right there. So I'm just gonna throw that one right back in. I'm gonna do the same thing with the rest of the 8 and see if that makes a difference on our starting power. Spark plugs have all been reinstalled and gapped appropriately. Timing should be pretty close. I just filled the bowl up with some fresh fuel. So let's give her one more go. All right. Ah, dang it. Timing's still off. Please comment down below which way I'm supposed to go if it's backfiring. Clockwise or counterclockwise? Okay, I think I just answered my own question because that was way worse. So I'm gonna go back counterclockwise now, quite a ways. She's on fire again. Golly. How do you put a fire out? Probably with flammable paper towels, right? I don't know. Just start it again, see if it sucks it down in there. That don't work. God. We're about to get her, boys. It is hot out here. Be like what old Derek Bierry said. I heard him say the other day, I just saw a mosquito pass out a minute ago. That's how hot it is in Oklahoma. Might tap on this carburetor a little bit with my official carburetor adjustment tool. on now. That's the best it's done in a minute. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get smart and I'm gonna put my electric fuel pump here running down to a gas can. That way I don't have to keep bottle feeding this thing. Maybe it'll idle a little better that way too. So let's see if I can fire this thing up. Get everything where she needs to be here. Give her some throttle, try to start it. All right, now we'll pump her some fuel. Yeah! Yeah! There went my hair. Gee, my knee. Okay. I guess I don't have to get a haircut this month. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so let's take the timing back a hair. Hey, babe.
Hello.
I love you too. My hair fried?
Oh my God. Bad.
Really?
Yeah.
It just fireballed out of there. Let me see what it looks like. She said it was bad. I can't see it. Well, that's fine. That was a little thicker right there anyway, so maybe that helped. That's how they're cutting hair in like New York and stuff. So what I think we got a case of is a stuck float, stuck needle, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this top part of this carburetor off and see what is going on there and see if there's any way I can free that up or unclog that jet or something like that, because the bowl is staying full. Even when I'm spinning, even when I get it to start for a minute, as soon as I touch the fuel pump and add a little bit of fuel in there, it's overflowing out of the top. So I know the bowl is not, the fuel from the bowl is not reaching the rest of the carburetor. So I'm gonna tear into that real quick and see what happens. Come on out of there, Betsy. And maybe this is the reason. Maybe this needle is so stuck down in there. Yeah, it's like glued in. But this thing's so fragile, you just can't pry on it like you need to. There we go. Guys, that had to be the case, man. That sucker would not come out. There's no fluid inside the float. I'm gonna try to pull these jets out and shoot some of this B12 through them. And see if there's any debris in there. Pull that fuel seat out of there, spray it out. Try again. That's got to be the only thing. It's just not getting the fuel that it needs. Let me get all this old fuel out. Now let's spray off this little guy. Clean it up a little. Try to ease her back down in there. She sure went in a lot easier than she came out. So already added a little bit of fuel. Come on. Come on, baby. It's like barely running. There we go. Come on now. Come on, baby. As long as I hold the throttle open, she'll kind of run. It's not as strong as it should be, though. But as soon as I let off the throttle, watch what happens. Okay. Let's try it again. Got the dust blown out of her. That's what I'm talking about. Run, baby. But it's like I got to keep a little bit of throttle in there for not to die. So as you can see, we are getting so close. I've just got to maybe adjust the idle or do something to where I don't have to keep my hand on that throttle to keep it running, but I think we are dangerously close to this thing just sitting there and idling under her own power. I'm gonna see if I can find that idle screw and turn it up just a little bit and see what that does for us. Before I run her too much more, probably better give her a little drink of coolant. I don't even know if this radiator works. Should be using water. Seems to be holding. All right, so we're back today. It's another hot Oklahoma day. Overnight, I let the distributor soak in some Croy oil, and now I am able to like twist on the timing so much better, so I'm excited about that. And I got my fuel pump set back up. I did up my idle just a little bit, and let's see if we can start this thing and see if it will actually sit there and idle today. Turn the fuel off to that thing. Jeez. I should bring like a fire extinguisher out here or something. That'd be an idea. How do you shut this off? What about paper? Does that do it? Go out. I guess I'll go get a rag or something. Jeez. Got it. Throw a little more fuel at her and try again. There we go. Idle. Yeah, I like it. I finally found that idle mixture screw and was able to tweak that a little bit. She's sitting here running now, boys. That's what I'm talking about. She was full of water a few days ago. Now look at her purring like a kitten. That's what I'm talking about. What do you guys think? All right, she sat here running and idling like a champ. I'm not asking for much here. I just want to be able to throw it in reverse and see if it'll move at all. So let's see what happens. I thought we were further along than we were. Twisted the steering column down to what felt like was going into gear, but the truck didn't react at all. So that could be why this truck was parked. The transmission could be totally out in it, but that'll give me something more to explore. Man. So we may not be out of the game yet. I just got off the phone with David over at Classic Car Revivals. He is a Ford guru, and he took a look at the transmission. He had me send him a video of it, and he said he thinks it's a C4 transmission. And he told me, have you checked the transmission fluid level? And I said, you know what? No, I haven't at all. So you are a freaking genius, boy. So I checked the level and it looks bone dry. So he told me to go get some of this Type F automatic transmission fluid. So I'm gonna try just maybe putting some fluid in the transmission and see if that's gonna help it run. I also did pick up a new voltage regulator, and let's put all this stuff on, put the fluid in, and give it another try. I'm gonna put in about 3 quarts and then I'm gonna check it again once this thing's running. All right, I think I may have just fixed the ignition switch. I found these 2 wires right here. So this was a red one with the blue stripe, and then we got like a dark brown or a black wire here that were just hanging loose over here. And I Googled it, and these are supposed to go to these 2 posts right here. So one says I for ignition, one says S for start, I think. So anyway, the red one goes here, and the black one or brown one goes there. And let's see what happens. Let's see if she'll start now. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it works. It works. We started it with the key. Yeah. I freaking love this so much. This is so rewarding. So I think I'm gonna hop in the cab now that we have 4 quarts of transmission fluid in there, and I'm gonna start her up and I'm gonna give her one more try to see if I can't get her to back up. Oh, I did replace that tire on the back side, but I do still have a flat one on the front. But if I can get it to move, I'm gonna try to just ease it up a little bit closer to the shop, air the tires up, then we'll really rip. I'm out of breath. Let's do this. All right, here we go. I'm gonna throw it in reverse again. See if anything's different now with fluid. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Ah, man, nothing. Whoa, we got forward. It could just be that reverse is out. Oh, wait. We started to go. Oh, she's trying, boys. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go! Holy cow, I cannot believe I just drove that thing. That's amazing. All right, so this transmission, I guess, was just totally bone dry, and it's taking a little bit for that fluid to flow through there. I probably need to get a little bit more. I only put 4 quarts in, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to ease her on up a little bit closer to the shop, get some better air in the tires, and man, we're gonna start working on brakes and stuff. This thing's a keeper. Yeah! Woo! Please hold air. Oh, I think she's gonna hold air, boys. Yeah, she's holding air. Well, what do you old boys say we get out there in the field and see what this thing will really do? There's absolutely 0 brakes whatsoever. So I think we'll probably keep it out there in the open a little bit, but now that we've got air in the tires, I think the best thing for this transmission is gonna be to circulate that fluid. So let me see if I can get her to run again. Get another camera set up. Let's go play. I'm gonna see if I can ease her in reverse now. Woo! She wants to go. Crap. No brakes. Woo! Well, that could have been worse. That could have been a lot worse. We just totally lost control there. All right, we're gonna try to put her into drive now. Let's go. Let's see what we get here. Woo! Yeah! This thing rips. Oh, I lost my battery. Battery fell off. Idiot. Better go get that. Battery's toast. Can't even turn it over. Oh, dude, we got a big fire, boys. Got a big fire. Oh, God. Come on. Jeez. Well, he didn't want that. Huh, that could have been worse. Man. Whew, the carburetor was like blazing. Jeez, okay.
Man, it's so cool to be driving this thing around. I'm gonna try to ease her up to the house without getting too wild. Because we have literally no brakes. Come here, Bandit. I don't want to run him over. Still out there? This little punk was chasing me. I was afraid I was gonna run him over. Oh, I wonder if I have any handbrake. Oh crap. Kill it. We lost all transmission. I'm just rolling now. Golly. I think it just came loose, look. I got Lenny B towing me in the Ranger. Hold up! Hey, I think just for giggles, let's just see if we throw a little bit of brake fluid in there, see if we can crack open a bleeder, and maybe we don't even have to do wheel cylinders on this thing. It's worth a try. Well guys, things have escalated to this. I've never seen a drum more seized than this one. I've beaten on it, I have torched it, I have put penetrating oil on it, I've done everything that every other YouTube tutorial says to do. So I finally had to spend some money on it, and I got one of these big 3-jaw hydraulic gear pullers, and it was the big one. It cost about $100 at Harbor Freight. And I'm gonna jack on this thing now and see if I can get this drum to finally get off so that I can put some new brakes on this girl. Well, I didn't get it on camera, but that thing just exploded off of there, breaking the drum. Well guys, I had to take a break from filming because I had reached my limit of frustration. It took me like 3 days to get that hub or the drum off. What I ended up having to do was take the whole hub off, and I was able to change out the whole guts of the drum, new brake shoes, new wheel cylinders, some springs, stuff like that. And I did get the old girl to stop. So it's not perfect, but she does run, drive, and stop. Now what I'm gonna do is I want to show you guys the bonus feature of this cinematic short film that I shot as kind of my comedic theory of why this truck was spray painted free and why there was water to the brim in the engine. So sit back, grab some popcorn, enjoy our theory about what happened with this truck years ago from the previous owners. Let's go.
Girls, dinner's ready. Preston, it's time to come eat.
Not hungry.
Yeah.
Is Daddy gonna say tell us good night?
No, he's out there working on that stupid truck.
Told you I'd get it. I told you I'd get it. Girls, where's your mother?
We don't know.